Buenas tardes, Year 5. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that you had a really lovely half term and enjoyed all the amazing Spanish style weather that we've been having. It's now the summer 2 half term, and we are going to do some new learning today and also combine it with our learning about clothes. So I hope you enjoy the lesson and looking forward to receiving your work. So just a reminder of the email address to send your work to, spanish@grange.harrow.sch.uk, and a big thank you in advance, muchas gracias, because I know Year 5 are amazing at watching the videos and sending in lots of high quality work. So these are my shout outs from the last couple of weeks, and your work hopefully you saw in the shout out videos. But again, I want to say well done to Eric, Raisa, Mariama, Kavish, Anastasia, Anashanth, Alex, Race, and Dua. And I hope that there's going to be even more for me to fit on for the next one. Okay, muy bien, well done. So what you will need for this lesson, necesitas. That means you need, and that's going to be a really important word in today's lesson. So, unas hojas de papel, some pieces of paper, un lápiz, a pencil, un boli morado, a purple pen. If you have one, don't worry if you don't. Una regla, a ruler, and unos lápices de color. So if you have some colouring pencils, that would be great, but don't worry if you don't, or felt tip pens is fine as well. So pause the video, go and get the things that you need, and I'll see you back in a minute. Fantastico. Now, this is a slide that I've added in because I think it's a good idea just to review what we've been learning so far, because we do have some quite long gaps between our lessons. So let's just recap. So the first step, quite a long time ago, was learning the vocabulary for clothes in Spanish. Then we moved on to looking at the verb llevar, and we learned how to form the verb, how it works, and used it to describe what different people are wearing. Then in the last lesson, we learned how to add detail to our sentences using adverbs of frequency like sometimes and never and so on. And today we are going to do a bit of a recap on the first 3 steps, but also learn how to describe different clothing for different types of weather. Okay, so ¿cuál es la fecha de hoy? What is the date today? Hoy es viernes, el 5 de junio 2020. So I've filled in the gaps for you by speaking, but I want you to copy down that date and try and fill in the spellings for the words that I've said. So in the first gap, number 5, cinco, and in the second gap, junio, which is June. So pause the video and copy that down, fill in the gaps. Excelente. And I also would like you to copy down the LI to combine vocabulary from different topics to create complex sentences. Well done. Let's go through the success criteria. I am familiar with the vocabulary for different types of weather. So we're going to go through the basic vocabulary to describe different types of weather. Using a scaffold, I can state what pieces of clothing or accessories, that means things like scarves or umbrellas and so on, are needed for different types of weather. I can manipulate sentences to change their meaning. Okay, right, let's get started. So as always, we're going to do a little recap. On the left-hand side of the screen are 3 of the words for items of clothing that we've been learning. Let's see if you can remember. Don't worry about writing this down, just have a think. Una camiseta. Muy bien, it's t-shirt. Unos pantalones cortos. Excelente, a pair of shorts. Because remember, pantalones is trousers and cortos is short. Unas gafas de sol. Keyword there is sol. Perfecto, the sunglasses. Okay, we're going to use those three today, so just thought we'd revise those. Then we've got the verb llevar, to wear, and at the end of the last video, I asked you to see if you could apply the same rules that we did with llevar to another AR verb in Spanish. And there was a couple of children that did this, so well done to you. And don't worry if you didn't, because it was the extension challenge and it was optional. But let's have a look at how it would work for necesitar, to need. So we cross off the AR and then we add on the same endings as we did with llevar. So we have necesito, I need. Necesitas, you need. Necesita, he or she or it needs. Necesitamos, we need. Necesitáis, you in the plural need. And necesitan, they need. We're only going to use the one that I've underlined there, necesitas, okay? So you need, because we're going to have sentences like, when it rains, you need an umbrella, for example, okay? And we also need to do a little recap of los adverbios de frecuencia. Do you remember what those were? Fantastico. The adverbs of frequency that tell us how often we might do something. So let's see, if I read one out, can you say what it means in English? Normalmente. Perfecto. That's probably the easiest one. Normally. Siempre. Well done. It means always. Nunca. Starts with the same letter in English. Perfecto. Never. And a veces, sometimes. Okay, we're going to use those towards the end of the lesson. Right, this is our new question for today. ¿Qué tiempo hace? What's the weather like? And the weather changes quite a lot in England, and we need to know all the different ways to describe the weather. So here is a map of Spain, and you can see lots of sunshine. You can see Madrid, the capital, in the middle, and then other big cities like Seville in the south, Valencia in the east, and so on. Okay, so ¿qué tiempo hace? Now, normalmente, normally in Spain and lots of parts of Spain, hace sol. It's sunny. Can you say that after me? Hace sol. Muy bien. Remember that silent H. Excelente. Hace calor. That's appropriate for right now because it's been very hot. Calor means hot. So have a go at that one. Hace calor. Muy bien. Hace frío. The opposite, it's cold. Your turn. Hace frío. Muy bien. My turn. Hace viento. Your turn. Fantastico. It's windy. Now this one is probably the trickiest one to say, so we'll practice it a couple of times. Llueve. Llueve. Your turn. Excellent. And it means that it's raining or it rains. Nieve. Your turn. Nieve. Excelente. It's snowing. Okay, we're going to focus on those ones today. There are a few more types of weather, but we're going to just use those ones for today. So let's see if you can point to your screen to show me which picture matches the one that I'm saying. Okay, let's start with hace sol. Perfecto. The sunshine. Hace frío. Muy bien. It's the one showing the person that's feeling cold. Think of frío a bit like fridge, something that's cold. Okay. Hace viento. Muy bien, it's windy. Llueve. Well remembered, it's raining. Hace calor. Fantástico, it's hot. Think of your comida caliente when you were doing your lunch register in Spanish. And the last one, nieve. Muy bien, it's snowing. Well done, we can move on. Okay, so these are the types of sentences that we're going to be creating today. So, cuando hace sol, remember cuando is one of our question words, and we did this with cuando es tu cumpleaños, when is your birthday. Cuando hace sol, when it's sunny, necesitas, you need, unas gafas de sol, some sunglasses. Let's see if you can say the whole sentence after me. Cuando hace sol, your turn. Necesitas, your turn. Unas gafas de sol, your turn. Fantástico, excelente. Cuando hace calor, necesitas un gorro, una camiseta y unos pantalones cortos. Okay, I'm going to say that sentence again, hopefully a bit more loudly and slowly, and this time I want you to write it down. Cuando hace calor, necesitas un gorro, una camiseta y unos pantalones cortos. Okay, one more time. Cuando hace calor, necesitas un gorro, una camiseta y unos pantalones cortos. Cuando hace frío, necesitas un gorro, unas guantes y una bufanda. So, we had un gorro already, a hat. Now we've got some new words. Unas guantes. What could they be? Well done. The gloves. They're in the plural, so that gives us a big clue. Y una bufanda, a scarf. So let's say that one together. Cuando hace frío, your turn. Necesitas, your turn, un gorro, unas guantes y una bufanda. Perfecto, well done. Cuando llueve, when it rains, necesitas un paraguas. Now, look at that word, paraguas. It's got another word inside it, agua. Do you remember what that means? Muy bien, water. Okay, so we know it's something to do with water. Let's say that one together, my go and then your go. Cuando llueve, necesitas un paraguas. Fantástico. Cuando nieva, when it's snowing, necesitas unas botas. What do you think unas botas might be? Well done. It's the boots. Excelente. Okay. Cuando hace viento. Can you finish off the sentence that I started? So, cuando hace viento, what would be the next word? Excelente. Necesitas. You will need. Now, for a hair tie, what I think I needed in that day, una cinta para el pelo. So, pause the video. See if you can write out my sentence. Cuando hace viento, necesitas una cinta para el pelo. Remember, pelo is hair. We did that in year 4 with our parts of the body. Excelente, right, I think you're ready to do a little bit of independent work now. So, it says challenge 1 example, draw to match. This is the example of what I would like you to do. It says, cuando hace sol necesitas unas gafas de sol. So, in the box that I've divided in half, I'm going to show you the sol and the item of clothing that I've mentioned. Okay, so you're going to do the same for the next couple of sentences. So, challenge 1, draw pictures to match the sentences. So, pause the video. If you need to go back and check any vocabulary, that's fine. Draw your boxes with pictures to match the sentences underneath the boxes. Perfecto. Let's move on. Challenge 2. Fill in the gaps to make sentences that match the pictures. So you've got some pictures there, and underneath you've got some sentences that are not complete. So for example, in the first one, cuando, the next 2 words that you would need are to say it's hot. Then you've got necesitas una, then you need the Spanish word for the t-shirt, and then in the last 2 gaps in that sentence, you need the words for shorts. Okay? And on the second picture, you need to say it's snowing in the first gap and boots in the second gap. So pause the video and complete that task. Okay, final challenge. Challenge 3 is the hardest. Translate the sentences into Spanish and draw pictures to match. So, when it rains, you need an umbrella. When it is cold, you need a scarf, gloves and hat. When it's sunny, you need sunglasses. So what I want you to do is write those sentences first of all in Spanish. Again, if you need to go back and have a look at other parts of the video, that's fine. And then draw your pictures to match. Pause the video, off you go. Now, the final task in our lesson, as always, how can we make our sentences even better? Well, we can do this by adding in an adverb of frequency. So, for example, in my purple pen, I've written normalmente, cuando llueve, normally, when it rains, necesitas, you need, un paraguas, an umbrella. So your challenge is, can you translate the sentence at the bottom into Spanish? Sometimes, when it's hot, you need a hat. Pause the video if you'd like to have a go at that one. Okay, well done. You have reached the end of today's lesson. Quick reminder, send your work to spanish@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Feliz fin de semana. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you again soon. Well done, Year 5. Hasta luego. See you soon.